Tonight, the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie is intensifying 5 days after she was reported missing. Law enforcement has returned to her Tucson home, and a new message claiming to be from the person who took her is under review. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Kariba Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. Despite the new developments in the case, investigators still have not been able to identify, at least publicly, any person of interest in the case. 12 News journalist Maria Stobbs has been at the home of Nancy Guthrie all day, which has been, of course, the focal point of this investigation. She joins us live tonight. Maria, what's happening there?
Well, Mark, Karibe, in just the last couple of hours, we saw a car getting towed from Nancy Guthrie's property. We've also seen some FBI units leaving the scene, and it's just been an active scene all afternoon and all evening. But we still don't know if there are any suspects in this case, though. The case has been developing by the hour.
I think we're doing very well meeting. We have some clues, I think, that are very strong, and I think we could have some answers coming up fairly soon.
President Donald Trump telling reporters we could see a solution soon regarding the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. Nancy was believed to be taken against her will from her home in the Catalina foothills of Tucson 6 days ago.
A lot of things have happened with regard to that horrible situation the last couple of hours.
On Friday, just after 3 o'clock, the Pima County Sheriff's Department blocked off the roadway to Nancy's home. The FBI says they were conducting a routine follow-up, searching both her home and the surrounding properties, asking neighbors for information. The search comes shortly after a Tucson news station reported that they received a second message about Nancy, claiming to be the suspect who allegedly abducted her. But the authenticity of this new note is still being reviewed. A separate search also happened at a Circle K on Oracle Road in Tucson. NBC News learned law enforcement visited the store after receiving a tip regarding a vehicle of interest. The store provided them with surveillance video, but officials haven't said if the vehicle or vehicles are connected to the crime or if that lead has since been ruled out. And on Friday night, a blue car was seen being towed from the property. According to NBC News, photo and video records of Nancy Guthrie's home show that the car being taken from her residence was previously in her garage and is believed to belong to her, but it's still unclear why it was being towed. Now, while these are some new developments, the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Office is asking that if you do have any tips, you still call the FBI. The FBI is also offering a reward of up to $50,000 for any information that could lead to the return of Nancy Guthrie or any arrest involving that have to do with her disappearance. We're live in Tucson. Maria Stobbs, 12 News.
Okay, Maria, thanks. We're following developing news in Phoenix right now, where 2 people are in the hospital after a serious crash near I-17 and Deer Valley Road. It happened around 8:30 tonight. When Phoenix Fire arrived, they found one car that had crashed into a wall that had two people inside that car. One of those victims had to be extricated from the vehicle. Phoenix Fire tells us that both people are in critical condition right now.
The Arizona Department of Public Safety has identified the 2 people killed earlier this week in a helicopter crash near Flagstaff. The deceased trooper paramedic has been identified as Hunter Bennett, and the deceased pilot has been identified as Robert Skanke. On Wednesday night, the pair were responding to assist the Flagstaff Police Department as they worked to apprehend a suspect that was firing at them from multiple rooftops in a residential neighborhood. Video shows the helicopter under the cover of darkness there just fall from the sky and crash to the ground. That crash is now being investigated by the NTSB and the FAA.
Meanwhile, we're learning more about an incident last night that led to a DPS trooper being shot and 3 others being injured. It happened while those troopers were serving a high-risk warrant near I-17 and Indian School. We're told that a SWAT member was shot in the shoulder but is now back at home and recovering. The suspect hasn't been identified yet, but we know he is 51 and was wanted on drug and weapons charges. He's now in custody.
Meanwhile, we're also following some new developments in another police shooting, this one happening in Chandler. This is video from Sky 12 over the scene. Authorities say that it started around 8:15 last night when Chandler officers pulled over a sedan for a traffic violation. Police say the suspect ran out of the car and then started shooting.
Officer then chased after that suspect and returned fire while at the same time radioing for additional help to arrive. At that time, the officer continued to chase the suspect, who ran behind a building with multiple businesses in it, eventually coming out in front of a storage facility. And that's when several Chandler police officers fired at the suspect.
The suspect was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound in the leg and a canine bite. They are expected to survive. No officers were injured.
In West Phoenix, police say undercover officers were able to pin in a murder suspect with an outstanding warrant. This all happened yesterday near 75th Avenue and Thomas. Officers first used non-lethal weapons, but investigators say she then pulled out a handgun and pointed it at the officers. Officers fired, hitting the woman, who was taken to the hospital. Police say a man who was also in the car was not injured.
Tonight, a man has been arrested for the brutal murder of an 18-year-old out of the West Valley. Yesenia Norman was reported missing last month and later was found stabbed to death in the suspect's apartment. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly is joining us live tonight after speaking with Tolleson police about this case. And Chase, it took them quite some time to find this suspect.
Kirby, that's right. That's because police tell us the suspect actually fled the state of Arizona right after the murder took place, finding him 1,600 miles away in Mississippi. Now, tonight we also uncovered arrest documents detailing what investigators found when they stepped foot inside his apartment. And we do want to warn you, those details are disturbing.
The last time Yesenia Norman was seen alive was on January 15th, when police say the 18-year-old went on a date with 27-year-old Randall Basilio Santillon, the man who would later be accused of killing her.
She had met him on a social media dating website.
Lieutenant Lee Garrett with Tolleson police say the two went on 1 or 2 dates before, but this time Norman didn't come home. After 4 days, one of her roommates reported her missing, and the search began. A week and a half later, court documents say police got a welfare check call at this Tolleson apartment complex.
There was an odor coming from there.
A foul smell and flies gathering around the door. When police entered, the floor was covered with maggots and Norman's body found covered in blankets. Police said she was stabbed more than 20 times. Her face appeared to have been cut off with a knife.
Based on the investigation, she was there for at least a week.
A neighbor told investigators just after midnight on the last day Norman was seen, they heard a fight happen inside the apartment, followed by a loud thud. The apartment belonged to Santillon and his wife, but documents say they separated in December. After the body was discovered, neighbors said they hadn't seen Santillon in weeks.
We can tell that he did leave the state that day.
Detectives using license plate scanners and cell phone tracking, Santillon was seen moving through Arizona, Texas, Illinois, Missouri, then Mississippi. With the assistance of law enforcement there, they located Santillon at a mobile home park.
They executed the search warrant, took him into custody without incident, during which time he'll be booked in on first-degree murder and kidnapping charges.
He's now awaiting extradition back to Arizona.
Prosecutors are calling for $1 million cash-only bond. They say that the suspect is a Mexican national, came to Arizona in 2022, obtaining a green card through marriage. They do believe he is a flight risk. We're live in Tolleson tonight. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you. Now we'll head over to Yavapai County, where animal control officers say that a dog is safe tonight and sound after being trapped in a trench for 3 days. The Yavapai County Sheriff's Office says that they first got to the scene. They found the dog about 12 feet below the surface with some minor injuries. Crews developed a strategic plan to hoist the pup to surface, and they were then able to reunite the dog with its owner, who were obviously very thrilled that their companion was back home safe.
All right. Well, it's always one of the biggest parties in the Valley. This weekend, thousands are packing Scottsdale for the Phoenix Open and the Bird's Nest, and police say they're ready.
Yeah, that's right. With crowds and concerts and a lot of drinking, officers are out in force to stop impaired drivers before they even hit the road. 12 News journalist Kyle Simchuk is outside the Bird's Nest with the warning from law enforcement.
Well, it's Friday night at the Phoenix Open. We're just outside the Bird's Nest, and things are getting wild. A lot of people, a lot of drinks. Tonight, police are just hoping everyone makes the right decision not to drink and drive.
They're here to have fun. We're raging. Yeah, we love Nelly, we love Scottsdale.
But there's no secret what's being served tonight.
Oh, this is Tito's, Sprite, and lime right here. Yep.
And while the drinks are flowing, many fans say they are making plans to get home safe.
We brought Uber. Everywhere we've been, we're taking Uber, we're taking Lyft, whatever we can. No, we're not driving anywhere.
We have a car coming to get us because our host has made sure we have a driver coming to get us.
Now, last year there were 80 DUI arrests stemming from the Phoenix Open, and this year already, just last night, police arrested 20 people for DUI. Law enforcement from across the valley stepping up patrols around Scottsdale, hoping education and enforcement will keep this from becoming a deadly weekend.
I want to be very clear tonight. Impaired driving is 100% preventable, and yet it continues to take lives every single day. I've stood on the side of the road at 2 in the morning, looking at twisted metal, shattered glass, and families whose lives were changed forever because someone made one bad decision. Not a criminal mastermind, not a hardened offender, just someone who thought, I'm okay to drive.
Fans we talked to say they hear that message loud and clear.
Plan to get home safe, got an Uber, we're good to go. Everybody's staying safe tonight. It's a great night for the Valley. We're really excited to be here.
We're hopefully going to not be in a police car and get home in an Uber.
In Scottsdale, Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.